Assalamu alaikum, everybody. First of all, I just want to, I'm very impressed with the super women who were on the panel. A big hand of applause for everybody. Everything is still sinking in. It was wonderful. It was absolutely brilliant. So the Honorable Chief Justice, who's not here, thank you for that. I think he just stepped out. So the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, my colleagues from the Supreme Court, my colleagues and friends from the High Courts, judges, honorable judges, Mr. Williams, the head of Cooperation European Union, Mr. Wane, the country representative, the UN Women Pakistan. Special thanks to both of you for setting up our studio. That will go a long way, and I'll just say a few words on that later. But thank you so much for supporting the FJA and being a partner to us on that. Experts from the National Center for State Courts, the FJA management, faculty, the judges of the District Judiciary, and it's you. I mean, you're there at the heart of all this, you see. And we're doing all this for you. It's your show. The court staff, the law clerks and interns, they're also very important to us. And ladies and gentlemen and the distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum once again. So first of all, to all the wonderful and the super women in the room, very happy Women's Day. But for the men, please remember that the rest of the days around the year, it's a Women's Day for you. Remember, don't forget that. We must honor every day as a Women's Day. This day is only for them. We just honor their accomplishments and what good they've done. But for us men, we must remember that the rest of the days are, every day is a Women's Day for us, and we must protect and honor women. So let me just start off by saying that we cannot progress unless we stop considering women as an exception. That's very important. We just think that they're just on the side and they're not mainstream. And that kind of thought process has to go. Malala was right in saying when she said we cannot succeed when half of us are held back. That is, look at the population, look at the demographics. 50% almost in the country are women. They need to be part of our entire development. They need to be part of whatever we do. They need to be part of our professional life. So they can't just think that they're exceptions and we're just going to sort of bring them in whenever we want. That's not how it works. So women belong in all places where decisions are being made, and I think that's the policy. Wherever there is decision making in this country, especially we come to judiciary later on, wherever there's going to be decision making, women have to be a part of that process. That's how we're going to move forward. The shift in viewing women as exceptions to recognizing them as indispensable equals is the fundamental recipe for progress. We need to start thinking that they're part of us. You see, they're not somebody who's on the side. The inclusion of women in leadership and decision-making position leads to more effective governance. Women bring different perspectives and experiences to the table, which is crucial for innovation and problem solving. This diversity of thought is essential for addressing complex challenges and fostering innovation. Women play a central role in the well-being of families and communities. They are often responsible for health, education, and nutrition of their children, laying the foundation for the next generation's success. Societies that value women as equals see improvements in child mortality, health, and education levels. Gender equality is integral to achieving sustainable development. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals explicitly include gender equality as both a goal and a means to reach other goals, such as ending poverty, promoting health, well-being, and ensuring quality education for all. Societies that value women as equals are better positioned to address environmental challenges and promote sustainable practices. So as somebody said, to awaken the people, it is the women we must be awakened. It is the women who must be awakened. Once she's on the move, the family moves, the village moves, the nation moves. So if feminism aims to empower women and transform society into a place where rights and dignity of every person are equally respected regardless of gender, if feminism is about ensuring that every individual has the freedom and opportunity to define themselves, make choices and live a life free of discrimination and oppression, then I must declare very proudly that I am a feminist. Feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives their strength. So let me just now come to the statistics in Pakistan and then move on to the judiciary. Pakistan has a population of 243 million, while women make 49% or so of it. Despite having almost equal representation, Pakistan ranks 142nd out of 146 countries, making it the fourth lowest globally in terms of gender parity. As a result, women remain unrepresented in most affairs of life due to the significant gender disparity. Such disparity is also visible in the justice system in Pakistan. So from 1923, when the Legal Practitioners Women Act 1923 was enacted to remove the legal bar on women from practicing law in British India, to 2024, the judicial system in Pakistan, although has seen considerable development, yet issues such as access to justice, gender responsiveness, and underrepresentation of women remain prevalent. According to the most recent statistics compiled by the Law and Justice Commission of Pakistan, there are only 562 women judges out of almost 3,000 judges in the district judiciary. Women judges in the district judiciary in Pakistan is almost 17%. I mean, that's not on. This has to change. This has to change. We need to take it to 50%. Interestingly, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has the highest representation of women judges in the district judiciary as compared to their male counterparts. So 25%, that is 25%, followed by Islamabad, which is 23%, Punjab is 17%, Sindh 13%, and Balochistan 12%. So as we transcend towards the superior judiciary, there are a total of 2 women judges in the Supreme Court, which is about 11%, of 5 judges in all the high courts. Punjab has 1 judge, she's right here, and I'm so happy that she's there. 1 judge out of 60 judges, which is less than 2%. So Punjab, I mean, the figures that are coming out, Punjab needs to be really ashamed of themselves. Then we're looking at Sindh, and we see just 7%. 3 judges, 3 female judges out of 40 judges. Islamabad has 1 out of 8, which is right, she's right here also, which is 14%. KP has no female judge anymore, and Balochistan does not have any female judge either. These are statistics that are worrying. We need to look at this. We need to think of our appointment policies. We need to think of diversity. We need to bring in women. We need to understand that they're 50% of the population. But where are they? We don't see them. We need to start seeing them. You see, they need to be there. So we need to bring them in. So women in judiciary of entire Pakistan is 16%. And that's not very comforting on a Women's Day, you see. To sum up, women judges make up to 17% of the entire judiciary, which includes district and superior judiciary. There is no women judge in the Federal Sharia Court, by the way. And up to the staff, which is 48,000 in the country, the paralegal staff in the country that services the judiciary, we just have 2% women in the system, which again is very dismal and very disappointing. However, the good note, we have a first ever registrar at the Supreme Court, we have a Director General in the KP, we have a Secretary at the Law Commission. So these are good stories also. I mean, not everything is depressing and sad. But we never had a female Director General at the Federal Judicial Academy. Not saying that you're not doing a good job, no? But I'm just saying that sooner or later we need to get a woman here heading this institution too. So what are the challenges actually, if I were to look at judiciary in the context of Women's Day in particular? So underrepresentation of women results in the absence of gender lens, in shaping policies, in delivering judgments, and contributes to an environment that may not be founded on holistic, participatory, inclusive measures. Instead, it perpetuates existing disparities by reproducing inequities within the system. If you do not have women sitting as judges, if you do not have women working with you, it just sort of makes you go down further because you just do not understand, you're not sensitized to a number of things. The dimension is totally missing, the gender lens is gone. Low representation of women judges in the superior courts of the country is an issue. Low representation of women leads to lack of gender sensitivity in the justice system. The outlook and jurisprudence of most of the male judges lacks gender perspective because there's no interaction, there's no understanding of the dimension is missing. Lack of gender neutral language in the judicial pronouncements is missing. So lack of training, we need to work on that also. The process for appointment does not lay any emphasis on how to induct women and prefer women over the others. Constitution allows you to do that, Article 25, but we do not yet have a policy where we prefer a woman over a man to get them appointed as judges. We call it diversity, but we need to start, actualizing it in real terms, that we need to start bringing in women into our system. There is harassment and workplace discrimination which people are silent about. They don't talk about. We got a survey done at the Federal Judicial Academy, and let me just tell you that we now have an online platform of WhatsApp where we can reach out to 3,000 judges with one click of a button. We could also reach out to 48,000 of our paralegal staff, thanks to the faculty at FJA who created this platform. So we carried out a survey before this conference and asked them what their issues are. They were very silent about the harassment, not that much, they didn't say anything. But my information is that there is harassment and there is workplace discrimination. A lot of people don't talk about it. But I think people should talk about it. We had set up a committee in Lahore, which Justice Alia was a member of. If there's any female judge who has any issues, we could, under the law itself, create a committee they can come to and raise the issues. But you have to speak up. You have to speak up, and only then could we address these issues. You cannot be silent about it to all the female judges I'm talking about. This is an issue, and we must address it head on. A lack of proper infrastructure for women judges, including access to separate restroom, daycares, as was mentioned earlier. We're just totally insensitive in our infrastructure. We do not have, at times, toilets. We don't have places where they would go to. We just imagine that we all sit together and everything is just honky-dory, everything is fine. That's not how it is. Infrastructurally, there are limitations for our judges, especially in the district judiciary. And it's about time that when we start looking at infrastructure and seeing how district courts ought to be built, we need to be very, very sensitive to the idea that we need to provide space for women judges. They need to have their own rooms, they need to have their own space. At the same time, if they want to come and talk to the male judges, they could do that, but they need to have space. In Lahore, I've seen courts where they would have to walk out of their court, go from within the complex to some other corner to go to a toilet. That's just not on. That's just not on and has to go. So towards more gender-responsive justice system, what could be suggestions? How do we sort of move forward? So first of all, representation of more women within the justice system is essential. It will not only promote gender equality, but also aid in overcoming gender stereotypes and improve decision-making, enhancing social cohesion. A greater number of women present a fair representation and enhance public trust as it reflects the composition of society. So that needs to be done. We need to bring in more women. More judges are required. Now, this is a countrywide problem right now. An international benchmark, average international benchmark would be about 90 judges per million. And I'm talking about developed countries. 90 judges per million. We have 13 judges per million. You look at the difference. So we have 4,081 judges in the country. 4,081 judges in the country. We need to have at least 20,000 if we want to meet the international benchmark. So that would mean that we'd need 10,000 women judges in the country, not 564 that we have. So that's the kind of difference we're talking about. If you want to address the access to justice, and if you want to really bring in and meet the international standards benchmarking for per capita judge, So judges per million, as I said, 90 judges per million are required. With that formula applied to Pakistan, we need to bring in about 20,000 judges, in which I would say 10,000 female judges need to come into the system. We don't have that. So get ready for it, Women's Day. In order to ensure that the justice system is truly equitable, fair and gender responsive, it is imperative that both male and female judges are properly trained in the sensitivity and sensibility required to understand and consider gender perspectives. I think on a Women's Day conference there should be more men than women. Because it's the men that we want them to understand what's happening. So to say that a Women's Day conference has to be all women doesn't work for me. And when we were organizing this, I requested the Director General that we must have men sitting there because it's them that we're trying to sensitize, you see. So whenever we do this, we need to bring men into training programs, we need to bring women into training programs. We want them to sit together, talk to each other. They don't eyeball, they don't talk to each other. Unless they talk to each other, they can't sort of break the barriers and, become better professionals, improving systems. So let's all do that. Let's all make an effort. Let's all make an effort. And I think the best place to do this is the Federal Judicial Academy. You just get together. You're all here from various provinces of the country. You have female judges here, male judges here. Time to talk, understand, get over it, man. And just, talk to them. Not an issue. So by prioritizing gender sensitivity and sensibility in the training of judges, the legal system can take an important step towards ensuring that all individuals, regardless of gender, are able to access justice freely and without prejudice. If you have a gender-based or a gender-sensitive justice system, then you're opening access to people also. A lot of people feel more comfortable coming and accessing this justice system. You're providing a better service delivery also, because the system understands gender. Because that then seeps into your judgments, into your writings, and into the language that you're using. Judges should also strive to use gender-sensitive language in their judgments. An example of this is Pakistan Feminist Judgments Project, a project which aims to bring together female academics, practicing lawyers, judges, and legal researchers to engage in a thorough debate on specific Supreme Court judgments and visualize the merits of rewriting them from a feminist perspective. In doing so, the project can show how the process of disrupting the construction of gender within law can ultimately benefit society. The purpose of the project is to show the intellectual value that women can bring to the interpretation of law in judicial pronouncements. And I think that's another exercise that the Academy could do. We need to start comparing how do women write a particular thing and how do men write the same thing. And compare it. And where is the difference? And that delta needs to go. We need to understand how is a woman addressing a particular issue. Let's not say that a woman will only end up doing family cases. I disagree with that. You do everything that you want to do. You do criminal, you do all sorts of other work. But the perspective has to be understood. What's the difference? Where are we? What's the difference? That has to be understood. So use of gender-sensitive language acknowledges the existence of gender-based inequalities and biases and can help promote greater gender equality. As a result, judges will be using language that avoids reinforcing stereotypes or discriminatory attitudes towards gender. Then we need to have a policy balancing professional and personal responsibilities of women judges for adoption of flexible working conditions. We do not have we did a little bit of a transfer policy in Punjab, but I don't know if there's a national transfer policy, how judges get transferred from one station to another, talking about female judges. We don't have any sensitivity to that. We also do not have any conditions or understanding that what if they have a family? The registrar just mentioned that she moved in and she had no place to go and she had a family to move. We do not have a policy that provides for this. The judges of the Superior Court are comfortable. They just go, their house is ready, heater running, air conditioner running, food ready. That's not how district judiciary works. When you transferred, you just start looking for a place first. And what if you're a woman? What if you're an unmarried district judge? What do? You send to a district, you don't know what to do. So how would you possibly concentrate in producing jurisprudence or deciding matters when you're worried about where to settle, where to go, where to, how to sort of set up a place? So I think we need to think about that. So then also better access to facilities within courts, such as separate courtrooms, seating spaces, washrooms, daycare centers, things that I mentioned. This infrastructural involvement is important. In Punjab, we provided cars to all the judges, female judges of the district judiciary. That was a sense of empowerment, and I'm quite sure some of them might be here from Punjab. They felt empowered. They were not dependent on any family member to drop them to the court. They felt that they were strong enough and they could just get up in the morning and just come to court on their own, and they were not dependent on anybody. Such like interventions are required to empower women, and I think Punjab has, women have cars there, and I'm quite sure the other stations also do, but we need to look at such things. So policy initiatives that contribute towards greater inclusivity of women in decision making, leadership roles. Registrar is a case when we would want more district judges coming up. We want within the district, the decision making doesn't take place, as I understand, that women are not involved in day-to-day decision making. Some male judges get together in districts and start running the district. I wonder if in the governance of a district, female judges involved, the way the male judges are involved. I don't even know that, I mean, Dilhuma was saying that she was the only judge sent to a particular station, they were all men. Why? Why isn't there a rational policy that you should have a certain number of female judges and a certain number of male judges? So all these things need to be thought out. We need to think of how the system is functioning. We're just not yet alive to acknowledge their contributions and achievements. Guiding principles. Equality and non-discrimination. We affirm that gender equality is a fundamental principle of justice and pledge to combat gender discrimination in all its forms within the judiciary in Pakistan. Inclusivity and diversity. We commit to foster an inclusive judicial environment that values diversity and ensures equal opportunities for women at all levels in the judiciary in Pakistan. I don't know if anyone, do you disagree? Empowerment. We recognize the importance of capacity building in empowering women judges, aspiring women judges and members of the staff that support their professional development and advancement. Leadership and representation. We underscore the need for increased representation of women in judicial leadership positions and commit to support policies and practices that facilitate women's access to these roles. Work-life balance. We acknowledge the challenges faced by women in judiciary in Pakistan in balancing professional and personal responsibilities and advocate for the adoption of flexible working conditions and support systems. Safety and security. We emphasize the importance of ensuring a safe and secure working environment for women in the judiciary, free from harassment, violence and intimidation. We urge logistics to be upgraded accordingly for preservation of privacy and dignity of women working in judiciary in Pakistan. International cooperation. We call for enhanced international cooperation and exchange of best practices to promote gender equality within the judiciary on a global scale. Actions. To actualize these principles, we commit to the following actions. Number one, policy reforms. Advocate for and contribute to the development and implementation of policies that promote gender equality and support women's advancement in the judiciary. Number two, capacity building. Organize and participate in training programs, research endeavors, and other initiatives designed to enhance skills and knowledge of women in judiciary. Number three, research and data collection. Support and undertake research initiatives aimed at gathering data on the status of women in the judiciary in Pakistan for informed policy and practice. Number 4 or 5, networking and advocacy. Foster networks of women judges, legal professionals and women support staff in judiciary to facilitate exchange of experiences, strategies for overcoming challenges and advocacy for gender equality. Public awareness. Engage in public awareness campaigns to highlight the importance of gender equality and to showcase the contributions of women in judiciary. Conclusion. In solidarity, we adopt this declaration as a roadmap for action and a call to all stakeholders to join us in our effort to invest in women and accelerate process towards a more just, equitable, inclusive judiciary in Pakistan. Together we can and will make a difference. Do we adopt this, sir? Could we raise some hands here? I don't see my Chief Justice raising his hand. It's adopted. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much.